BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, the Podfather himself, Stephen Buonocore. And there's a game, speaking of Spielworks, there's
That's
a
right.
game that you and Uli have coming out pretty soon. You ready to talk a little bit about Die Macher? Said it right?
Die Macher. That's right. Die Macher. So this is like the most German theme in the world, but it's the really weird thing about the game Die Macher is that the number one is that it's number one. Do you know that Die Macher is the first game entered into the Board Game Geek database?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you actually because every game has got a number associated with
Got a
it.
tag, right?
Yeah, because right now they're up to like 100,000 because 100,000 different games in there. But every game has literally a number. So if you created the link manually, like boardgamegeek.com/boardgame/1, I think that would be the link.
Something like that, yeah.
You should actually type that in now and see if that works. But that will bring up Die Macher. And what is Die Macher? So Die Macher was the first game that Scott Alden, who created Board Game Geek, the first game that he ever put into the database. It is the granddaddy of heavy Euro games. It is in its original state, like a 4-hour Euro game. We have
look at these ratings.
Oh yeah. It's a very very well rated game. It's got huge cred with the older time geeks and the very serious Euro gamers. So Uli, being the guy that he is, Uli Blenneman over at Spielworks, he knows everybody in Europe and everybody certainly in the German gaming market. He reached out to Karl-Heinz Schmiel, who is the original designer of this game, and he redeveloped the game to create essentially a second edition. You can play it in its original form again, or you can play it in a more streamlined version. And we are going to be launching Die Macher limited edition. And this is very important to know for everybody out there. Oh, look, see, there it is. BoardGameGeek.com/boardgame/1.
Yep.
If you do that, you get Die Macher, the first game ever entered. So back to my story here. So we're going to be launching Die Macher limited edition with Spielworks. And why is this limited edition? Because literally, we're putting the game on Kickstarter. It's a very specialized audience for a very specialized game. If you want this game, you basically essentially have to back it on Kickstarter. It's not going into distribution.
Wow.
Okay. Period. So at whatever number that we back on Kickstarter, we'll print obviously a little bit more. So there'll be a few more games that we'll have on the website. We'll have at conventions maybe, but that's few and far between. We're going to offer it as a limited edition. If the demand is there in 2020, we're going to basically say in 2021, we may put it back out again, okay. But it's going to be a 2-year delay between this Kickstarter and the next thing. So if you want the game, please go out and back it. And we're going to start that on June 25th. That'll be the next Kickstarter. Yeah, there you go. And it's going to start right before Dice Tower Con, and it'll end right after Dice Tower Con.
So, Stephen, here's the cool thing that people tell me. Now, I've been hearing about this game for years and years. Rich Summer talks about it. Of course, they've talked about it on the Dice Tower. You've talked about it on your podcast. But one of the things I've heard is, how Twilight Imperium and some of these other big event games, but they're more of an American style, theming. They tell me, people that have played this tell me that Die Macher is that kind of game. It's a big event, a game that takes a while, but that you will remember for years and years and talk about what happens to it. Is that true?
I mean, I guess you could think of it that way. It's mostly because of its long time frame that you're going to be making many decisions over time. And I did say it's a very German theme, but at the same point, it's sort of a very topical theme. It's about Die Macher is the German parliament, we'll call it, the German political system. So in the game, you're going to be taking positions in various agendas for the parties in Germany. But Uli, in his infinite wisdom, he's updated them, of course, to 21st century types of events and things like that. So you'll be, which are in general global, because the different things that affect the Western nations affect all of us, right?
Sure.
So you're going to be taking positions and you're going to be vying for the different influences and parties and things like that. So and as you can see by the picture on the box, you're going to be
beautiful voting. Cover, by the way.
Very cool, very interesting, right? That's the German picture of the German parliament. So Yeah, I would say it's epic, certainly in the way that the story is going to unfold.
Sure.
Very different, I think, than like a TI 3E or 4 now and things like that. But still, yeah, I think it's one of those games, once you invest in it and you understand its mechanics and then you do play this game, you're going to be getting into it, and then you're going to have this kind of like, this experience you're going to have with other gamers when you do play it.
Now, Uli has a close relationship with Harold Lusky, who seems like most of the artwork for Spielworks type games. Is Harold going to be involved in this project?
I believe Harold is the graphic designer on this as well. Okay. Yeah, I believe he is.
And that is Die Macher, and that's coming out June 25th, out on Kickstarter. If you want a copy, you better log into that Kickstarter. And it's going to be a short period, and what they make is what they're going to make maybe for the next couple of years, right?
That's exactly right. I'm not trying to create demand where it isn't, but as another Grail game, if you want this game, you do want to try to get involved with it now.